Hi, I'm Gary Hall Sr. from the Race Club, and I am very pleased to have with us today a guest, Davis Tarwater. Davis, renowned, famous swimmer from the University of Michigan, and he's now training at Mecklenburg Aquatics with David Marsh. And here we are in Plantation, Florida, and swimming through a little meet here, down here for about a week or so, training.
About a week.
Sorry we didn't have a little warmer weather, but nice to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been great so far.
Good. Davis is probably the most educated swimmer out there in the world today. He just got through with a year study at Oxford, and understand there was a pretty important competition over there where you swam against Cambridge. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was the big sporting event of the year. Is always the Oxford-Cambridge varsity meet, and it happens in a number of sports, and swimming was one of the varsity sports. And so we swam Cambridge at Oxford, and the MVP of the meet got a nice ornate jacket called the Oxford Blues jacket, which I won, and so pretty excited about that.
Well, I'll tell you, next to making the 2012 Olympic team, which he's going to do, he's going to announce that pretty quick after the trials, but winning that MVP at Oxford Cambridge had to be right up there with the highest award you've ever received, I imagine. So.
Probably. I've never been in a competition that had that much history and that had that much, the feeling around that meet was unbelievable. To know that it's been going on for 300 years, to be a part of something like that, and in an environment with, some smart guys and some guys that were really getting after it, was just an unbelievable experience.
Well, I was intrigued by what you're doing now, because you're 26 years old, you're still a puppy, and you're just kind of reaching closer to where you're going to peak in life, and I'm just delighted to hear that you're training again and you're going to go for London, which I think is wonderful, and I hope you make it. I really am pulling for you. But
thank you.
You're doing some other stuff with your life, which is kind of interesting too. Tell us about your new company that you're working with and the work they're doing in Haiti, because I think that's very, very interesting.
Right, I'm working for a company in Charlotte called the Credit Development Institute, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to find and figure out credit scores in Haiti, which is a developing country, so that we can effectively lend to more middle-class people, and thus kind of expand the economy and usher in some more entrepreneurship in an economy that really needs it. So it's very fulfilling and very interesting.
Well, it's great, and it's a country that is devastated. Last year, I guess, and with the earthquake, and it's nice to see so many people coming to that country to help them and hopefully revive them and make them better than they ever were before. But let's talk about your swimming. I saw you swim today, and we're not going to mention any times, but your stroke looked pretty good, and you're only, 3-4 months into it right now, right? So you're just starting to get the feel again of swimming. How's it going?
It's going really well. I've effectively had a year off, and so it was difficult coming back to know whether I had enough time. I felt like I did, and there's enough guys that have taken time off and come back that I sort of knew that I could do it, but I'm only 3 or 4 months into it. I feel like my strokes are really getting back on target. Coach Marsh is unbelievable at doing that, and now the thing to do is, now that I've got that baseline, is to just get in shape and use the next 18 months to get fit.
Well, and I'm happy you're giving yourself enough time. It's a little harder after you've taken a year off than a lot of people think. I have my own personal experience, but it's not an easy sport, and you really have to give yourself plenty of time. But David Marsh, great coach, a little different than what you've had in the past. Tell us about the environment. You got some great guys you train with. How does his training compare to Mike's and some of the other coaches you've had?
Right, well, in my whole career, I would swim the 100 and 200 fly, and to some extent the 100, 200 free, coming at it from a place of aerobic training of distance. And as I've gotten older, that's been a little bit more difficult to maintain, and so I'm moving in a direction that tries to hit 100 and 200s of stroke from a place of power and speed. And so that's definitely been an adjustment for me, but it's one that's very welcomed, it's very exciting, and I've really enjoyed learning from him.
Well, He's got the record to prove it, and he'll do it again, and I hope he does it with you, Davis. Good luck to you. We'll be following along, and
thanks so much for having me.
Come down to the Keys and visit us next time. You got keep going south 2 more hours and you get to heaven. So we'll be there with the boat ready, and we'll take you out doing some serious diving when you're
Great.
there.
Would love that.
Thanks, Davis. Good luck
Thank
to
you.
you. Thanks.
You too.
Davis Tarwater.